I'm Mike Urich. I'm trumpet player and lead singer for Neon Swing X-perience, one of the founding members of the band in 1998. Myself and a bunch of high school pep band buddies, there was a talent show going on at our high school, and they said, hey, why don't we put together this Blues Brothers style act? And I thought, okay, that could be cool. And I was recruited to play trumpet for that. And we decided that we were initially going to go just for that one show. You know, it's just a funny, laugh, have a good time type thing. Took a break for a couple months and decided that was really cool. We really missed that. So we pieced together part of my dad's old drum set and a couple other odds and ends here and there. And I think our original PA system was held together mostly by duct tape. But as it was, we got a couple shows together, played them, and all went really well, had a lot of fun. I just recall a lot of excitement around that time. It was so new. The whole swing thing in general was big around that time. Of course, we started in '98. That's when Brian Setzer was out, and Squirrel Nut Zippers, and Cherry Poppin' Daddies, and Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, and they were, I guess, sort of what caused us to start this type of music. But then we started getting really into the big bands like Glenn Miller and Benny Goodman and whatnot, and we really tried to develop our sound around that. Back in those days, we really didn't know how to play our instruments too well, though, so we really couldn't pull that off. But as it turns out, I think our energy and our enthusiasm more than made up for it. It was really exciting because it was a novelty back then. We were so young, and no matter where we went, it was, oh man, look at these guys. They're playing swing music. They're young. They're kids. This is really cool. I've never seen anything like this before. So I would say that if there was anything remarkable about the early years, was just the amount of energy that we had and the amount of energy that we saw in our audiences. We packed the houses everywhere we played. Well, the first album was recorded back in '99, and it was called The Swingin'est Show on Earth. We really couldn't come up with a better name than that, unfortunately. We did that. We were so nervous. We had no idea what it was like to record, or what it would be like to record. And we went in there, and Ray was just so helpful, so easygoing back in those days, and so fun that we had a great time doing it. It was really, to be honest, that was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life, and one of the most fun times I've ever had, that first album. The second album, I can't say went as smoothly. The second album is the Eclectic Mob, and again, it was comprised only of originals. For this one, we decided, let's do, the first album was only 10 songs. Let's really make this one longer, we're gonna go all out. So we did about 14 songs for that album. Probably about 4 of which were really good, and the other 10 were kind of, passable. But we enjoyed it. It was cool. People still listen to that album to this day and say, what were these guys talking about? I think we had a song about lemonade on that album. And yeah. In 2001, we recorded It Happens Every Day, which is the first album that Joe and Wally were on.
It was the first time really I was ever in a recording studio for for a significant project like that, and it introduced me to the whole experience, which was a good time.
It was a lot of fun to record. I had only been with the band a few months when they decided to record that. It was basically go into the studio, play this, do that, and that was it. It was done. It was recorded in about 3 or 4 days, I think. And it was analog, so it has that real vintage sound to it. And that was really the first album that got noticed by a lot of people. The original version of Fall Apart was on there. My favorite version of Eclectic Mob with Tim Palco doing the slap bass was on that album. Little Man Who Wasn't There, an obscure swing song that my favorite version is Glenn Miller, was on that album. So that was a lot of fun to make. It was also the first time I ever played a nose flute on an album. That album was historic in a couple of different respects. The one after that was No Turning Back. It was supposed to be a concept album about mobsters and whatnot. But the band at the time decided that they didn't like some of the songs that were going on, and we kind of had some lineup changes in the middle of it, so everything that could have possibly seemed to go wrong went wrong.
Making it was almost like a train wreck. So the idea of the front cover and the idea of the title, No Turning Back, was that we were going to have a train wreck on the front cover.
We ended up finding a picture of a vintage train that would have been used in the bootlegging days.
So we just have a train going in one direction. So it's a little bit more optimistic, I guess, the final version of that album. And actually, that is one of my favorite albums. It's really good. We got some great songs in that one. Speakeasy is one of them. Black Magic Spell. Our version of Oye Como Va. We do a Louis Armstrong tune, Kiss to Build a Dream on.
After that, we did an album called Late to the Party. And that was basically built around the Graffiti Rock Challenge, which we took 4th place in.
The Graffiti Rock Challenge was a big step for us at the time.
Being, of course, not a rock and roll band, we kind of had to adjust our sound. At that time, we viewed ourselves almost as rock with horns. We were more along the rockabilly lines at the time. The response that we had initially from the newspapers were write-ups saying, well, here's a swing band and a rock challenge. What's up with that? Our response to that was, to quote Louis Armstrong, there's really only two types of music, good music and bad music. And we argued that we are indeed good music.
Although Late to the Party was a departure in style for us, it still worked out quite well for us. The album turned out to be very successful. We did a good mix of rockier type tunes with an edge, like the title track, Late to the Party, but we still had tunes on there that were more traditional, such as Moondance and It Had to Be You. Late to the Party had 3 supporting tours. 2 were on the East Coast and 1 was on the West Coast in California.
This summer, we're very excited because we're doing our 3rd tour now to promote the new album, Here to Stay. And we'll be again at the Clarendon, again at the Friday Night Swing Dance Club in Baltimore. But we'll also be playing at Central Park, which we're really excited about. Dogfish Head Brewery in Delaware. The brand new album that hopefully you'll all be listening to very shortly is called Here to Stay. And it's kind of reflective of a lot of the touring we've been doing, a lot of going state to state that we've been doing. Do You Know What It Means to Miss New Orleans? It's about New Orleans, where we hope to go. Ain't Going to Cancun mentions a couple places where we've been and where we've liked to go or not like to go. The album's kind of divided into 2 halves. The first half is the fun, happy, kind of cheesy, introductory half. The second half of the album is a little bit deeper. 6
out of the 10 tunes are covers, focus primarily on big band classics and swing classics, with a few of our own originals thrown in. I think as a whole, the album is very meaningful to us. It shows, as a band, where we've been, where we hope to go. It really shows a good progression of our journey. We did this a little bit different. We basically just rehearsed this album in a studio, and Ray, our engineer slash producer, decided not to tell us when we were going to be recorded and when we were. So here we are thinking that we're just rehearsing, just hanging out, having a good time. And as it turns out, those are some of the tracks you'll be listening to on Here to Stay. It really makes for a fun listening experience. It's our most swinging album to date, and very danceable, great time. We had a great time making it, and we hope you have as good of a time listening to it. We hope to keep going with our steady shows. Of course, we've been playing a lot of Tuesdays out in Mountaineer Casino in West Virginia. Our home base is Sassy Marie's every 3rd Wednesday of the month. We hope to see you there for a swing dance. We hope to keep doing those. We hope to record again. We just did Here to Stay, so we don't really want to do another studio album right away. But we are interested. We're thinking about doing maybe a live album soon. A Christmas album would be kind of nice. When we do a studio album again, we'd like to do that. We'd like to pursue a concept album like we had talked about in years past. So those are always options for the future of the band too. Lastly, I would like to say thank you to everyone who has supported us throughout the years, and for everyone who's attended our shows. It's greatly appreciated, and we hope you enjoy Here to Stay, and here's to another 10 years of Neon Swing and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you so much for supporting Neon Swing X-perience for the past 10 years. If you've been around that long for us and been coming to shows that long and have all of our albums and our CDs. If you're new to the band, thank you so much for starting to support us now. We hope to see you at many, many more events in the years to come. We hope to be around for another 10 years, if not more. And again, thank you very much.